Section 26. Understanding the Realtor Ethics Complaint Process. Sarah had now been in real estate for more than a year. She had successfully represented buyers and sellers, navigated multiple offers, and learned how Arizona law and the Realtor Code of Ethics work together to protect consumers. One afternoon, she attended a Realtor Association meeting where the Professional Standards Committee was recognized for its volunteer service. After the meeting, Sarah turned to David. "I've heard people talk about ethics complaints before, but I've never really understood how they work." David smiled. "I'm glad you asked." He explains that one of the biggest misunderstandings among realtors is believing that an ethics complaint is the same as an ADRE complaint. They're actually two completely different processes. David pulled out two books and placed them side by side on the conference table. "This one," he said, pointing to the Arizona Real Estate Law Book, contains Arizona statutes and the commissioner's rules. If a licensee violates Arizona law, the Arizona Department of Real Estate has the authority to investigate and, when appropriate, discipline the licensee. He then pointed to the Realtor Code of Ethics. This book is different. The Code of Ethics applies to realtors who are members of the National Association of Realtors. If someone believes a realtor has violated one or more articles of the code, they may file an ethics complaint with the local Realtor Association. Sarah looked surprised. "So the association doesn't investigate violations of Arizona law?" "Correct," David replied. "The association determines whether a realtor violated the Code of Ethics. ADRE determines whether a licensee violated Arizona law." Imagine you're representing a buyer in Phoenix. After a difficult negotiation, the buyer's agent believes the listing realtor intentionally misrepresented information about the property. The buyer's agent believes the conduct violated Article 2 of the Realtor Code of Ethics, which prohibits exaggeration, misrepresentation, or concealment of pertinent facts. What happens next? David explains that the realtor may become the subject of an ethics complaint filed with the local Realtor Association. Unlike a lawsuit, the ethics complaint process is designed to determine whether the realtor complied with the Code of Ethics, not whether money damages should be awarded. The complaint is reviewed through the association's professional standards process, where trained realtor volunteers evaluate the evidence and determine whether an ethical violation occurred. David reminded Sarah that ethics hearings are not criminal trials. They're designed to protect the integrity of the profession. He also explained that every complaint must identify the specific article or articles of the Realtor Code of Ethics that were allegedly violated. Personal disagreements or personality conflicts alone are not enough. "This is something many realtors misunderstand," David said. "Not every disagreement becomes an ethics violation. Professional standards panels evaluate testimony, documents, contracts, emails, and other evidence before reaching a decision. Throughout the process, both parties have an opportunity to present their version of the facts." David shared a story from several years earlier. Two realtors strongly disagreed about what had occurred during a transaction. One believed the other had acted dishonestly. After reviewing the emails, contracts, and testimony, the professional standards panel concluded there had been a misunderstanding, not an ethics violation. "The process worked exactly as it was designed," David explained. "It focused on the facts." Experienced realtors understand that the best way to avoid an ethics complaint is the same way they avoid legal disputes. Communicate honestly, document important conversations, follow the Realtor Code of Ethics, and treat every consumer and fellow realtor professionally. The Realtor Code of Ethics exists to strengthen public confidence in the profession by holding realtors accountable to high ethical standards. As we continue through this chapter, you'll learn what happens during a professional standards hearing and how those proceedings help maintain professionalism throughout the real estate industry. Online discussion. 1. What is the primary difference between an ADRE complaint and a realtor ethics complaint? An ADRE complaint involves alleged violations of Arizona real estate law and is investigated by the Arizona Department of Real Estate. A realtor ethics complaint involves alleged violations of the Realtor Code of Ethics and is handled through the local Realtor Association's professional standards process. 2. Why do you think the Realtor Code of Ethics has its own complaint process separate from Arizona law? Answer. The Realtor Code of Ethics establishes professional standards that go beyond the minimum legal requirements. The ethics complaint process allows realtors to hold one another accountable for maintaining professionalism, honesty, and integrity, while strengthening public confidence in the profession. 3. Why is documentation important during an ethics complaint? Documentation helps establish the facts of the transaction. Contracts, emails, text messages, disclosures, and other records provide objective evidence that allows the professional standards panel to evaluate the complaint fairly, rather than relying on conflicting memories or opinions.